guys, I'm Laura Vitale, and on this episode of Laura in the Kitchen, I'm going to show you how to make a delicious braised beef brisket. It is easy to do, and this is what I serve on St. Patty's Day instead of doing corned beef and cabbage, simply because corned beef is, I like to pickle my own, and it just takes a good 10 to 12 days. It's just a big process, and people really do love my braised brisket a lot more. So that's what I make every year, and I'm no Irish by any means, and I'm not saying there's just one version of it, but I'm really excited to show you my version of it. So let's go over the ingredients so we can get started. You're going to need a good beef brisket that's been trimmed of any fat. You're going to need some aromatics, carrots, celery, onion, garlic, some crushed tomatoes, red wine, beef stock, some fresh rosemary, thyme, paprika, Worcestershire sauce, salt and pepper, and olive oil. That's it. Super easy, it's delicious. The first thing you want to do is get your oven preheated to 325 Fahrenheit. And now what I have here is a big Dutch oven preheating over about medium-high heat. I'm going to drizzle in a good few tablespoons of olive oil. I'm going to get that to get nice and hot because I'm going to sear that meat. Because when you sear the meat and you get color on it, I like to call it free flavor, because you're not paying for that flavor, but it does really make a difference when you sear something before you braise it or anything like that. So let's talk about brisket. Brisket is incredibly delicious, but unless you cook it low and slow, it's really tough and it's just not edible. So it's delicious when you braise it for a really long time. It's absolute money. Now when you go to your butcher, ask him for a good clean cut with trimmed off of, most of the fat. I have very little fat on here, but most of it has been trimmed. He'll be happy to do it for you, if it's a good butcher anyway. So I have that ready. I'm gonna season it on both sides really well with my salt, pepper, and paprika. I love adding a little bit of paprika to this. It adds such a nice little note to it. I really enjoy it, so I like it this way. Now I will say that there are so many different variations of beef brisket. There is no right or wrong way to do it. Everybody has their own method about it. I just love this method. I also do like a beer braised brisket, which everybody loves as well. It's a little bit different, which I'll show it to you as time goes on. I'm just going to put seasoned side down in my really hot pot, and I'm going to season it this side. Use your clean hand for your salt. Meat needs to be seasoned, otherwise you'll be losing out on flavor. And the last of the paprika. Alright, I'm just going to wash my hands. I'm going to let this sear a few minutes on each side or until it's got a really nice brown crust, and then we'll move on to the next step. Oh yeah, that's got good color. Now if I can only grab it. Alright. Set that aside, put it onto a clean plate. Look at all that flavor down there. Oh yeah. I'm going to put a little bit more olive oil, a tablespoon. Add in my veggies. Give this a good stir. I'm going to season my veggies with some salt and pepper as well, so that every layer is beautifully seasoned and you end up with a really rounded dish that just tastes divine. So the veggies need to cook for a few minutes as well until they develop a little bit of color and they start to soften a bit, and then we'll move on to step number 3. Alright, they look great. I'm going to deglaze this with some red wine. If you don't drink wine or you don't want to use wine, just add a little bit more beef stock. That's it. I'm just going to let this cook for just a minute while scraping the bottom of my pan here with my wooden spoon, just to, release all the flavors that are stuck in the bottom of the pot. You want those all to end up in the sauce. So just a minute will do. Looks good. I'm going to slide my brisket right back in. Try to nestle in as best as you can. If it's sitting right on top of the veggies, that's fine. And as you can see, I cut the veggies in pretty large chunks because I like to serve them, alongside the beef. All right, so now we've got our beef stock. Oh yeah, this is gonna be pretty delicious. Our crushed tomatoes, a good amount of Worcestershire or Worcestershire, however you pronounce it. Love this stuff. Practically drink it for breakfast. And then I've got fresh rosemary and fresh thyme. The leaves are going to fall right off the stem, so you don't need no bother chopping or any of that. All right, so got this all nestled in here, and try to nestle in the herbs as best as you can. All right, so what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna bring this to a boil, which is, the sides are starting to bubble up already. It doesn't take very long. Once it's there, I'm gonna cover it with a lid, and I'm gonna pop it into the oven at 325 for around 3.5 hours. Now, when it's had its 3.5 hours, I'll show you what it looks like, but just make sure you're using a Dutch oven, like a heavy-duty Dutch oven that can go into the oven, or if you don't have one, simply sear your meat and saute your veggies in a skillet, and then just pop everything into like a baking dish. Just make sure it's really nice and deep, and then cover it up. But I will say that don't cover it with aluminum foil directly on top of the tomatoes, because it can react kind of unpleasantly. It's not the best reaction. It's the best when it touches. It doesn't give you. It's kind of gross. Let's just say it that way, okay? It's the truth. So take a piece of parchment paper, lay it on top, and then cover the whole thing with aluminum foil. Otherwise, put it in your Dutch oven, put a lid on it, stuck it in there for 3.5 hours, and I'll show you what it looks like once it's done. Oh yeah. Be very careful because the pot is really, really hot. Just take a knife. If you poke right into there and it just releases really easily, then you'll know your steak is done. I'm loving this knife right now. Like, totally obsessed with it. My husband got it for me for Christmas. He knew I would love it. He gave it to me before Christmas. And I haven't let anybody else use it because it's so sharp. I'm terrified that someone's going to cut themselves. Enough about that. Take your steak out. Put the sauce, the tomatoes right back in the sauce. I'm just going to put it on the platter there to rest for a few minutes. Now I'm going to turn my heat on pretty high, because what I want is for this gravy to, or this sauce anyway, to reduce quite a bit. So this is going to bubble away for about 10 minutes or until it's nice and thick, and that's perfect amount of time for the meat to rest as well. So, but I'm just going to let this bubble up, and then I'll show you how to finish pretty much the whole thing. While my sauce is finishing up in there, I'm just going to slice the meat. Now you can see the grain going this way, so you want to cut across it. So, a nice sharp knife, make beautiful slices. Oh yes, yes please, I cannot wait to eat. You can see how it's falling apart. I mean, that's really tender. It's been cooking for a long time, so my mouth is watering. Let me cut this piece off for me for snacking right now. Okay, back to work. Wow. All right, cut it all up. Slide this right back here. Try to fan it out a bit, if possible. I'm gonna go in with my hands. Who am I kidding? My hands are my favorite tools in the kitchen, for sure. Just be careful because it does fall apart quite easily. All right, that's plenty fanning for me. Now at this point, make sure you taste your gravy, adjust the seasoning if you think it needs it. I've already tasted it, so I trust that it's perfectly fine. Look. Oh, so excited about this. You have no idea. Taking these carrots, putting them right along the side, those beautiful veggies. Now, if you have liquid left over, gravy left over, which you probably will, don't you dare throw it out. Stick it in the refrigerator, thin it out with a little bit of beef stock tomorrow, handful of rice in there, and you have one of the best soups in the entire world and universe. Just trust me. And it couldn't be easier. Just lather some of your veggies all around. We're gonna clean up the platter when we're all done, so don't you worry about that. And then I'm just gonna put some of the sauce right down the middle. Not too much, because I do like to serve some of the sauce in like a gravy boat on the side as well, so people can, like, I know my husband's gonna pretty much cover his in that gravy because it's just so delicious. But that's it. It's incredibly easy to do. It requires very little hands-on time. The oven does most of the work. But I love that. I'm gonna give this a try. I don't have a knife near me, a fork I should say, but that's okay. I'm going right in. Just my husband and I tonight. That is incredibly delicious. I hope you enjoyed spending time with me. Go to laureninthekitchen.com to get this recipe. Save that gravy. Make yourself a good soup with rice tomorrow. Let me know how you like it. Go to laurenkitchen.com to get the recipe, of course, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.